Oh, hi, Mark.
Say Radio, the voice of Seminary College. That was Jess. I hate you. I love you. And this is me. This is Till. And there's a little bit of Mark.
Hello.
Sitting here talking about some stuff.
Hello.
A little bit of Mark is the upcoming contemporary album, by the way.
A little bit of Mark. You're following up Too Much Mark.
After that, why is there so much Mark?
The sophomore record, please, no more Mark.
Yeah. So, Mark, thank you for coming onto the show.
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can't really do a show about talent without actual talent. I mean,
Good point. You're welcome.
Yeah. In fact, take all my money.
Wow.
Yeah, no. But, thanks for coming. I'll sort of let you two introduce each other, or Mark specifically. Right. Don't try to introduce Attilio, because that'd be a bit weird. So I'll pass it over.
Yeah, so when I started working for the acting program, one of the first classes, the first class I worked with was Mark's group in the acting program. That was with the professor Anita, who was a drill sergeant, and I love it.
A drill sergeant?
Drill sergeant.
A drill sergeant.
Yeah. Oh, she's great. And I've always, for the last 2 years now, referred to him as Dave the Wave, because there was a commercial for a diet soda where you weren't Dave the Wave, you were talking about...
I don't remember. I think... No. I was talking about Dave the Wave. I was talking about the legend, the myth, Dave the Wave.
The Greek god from Des Moines.
Right, yeah, Des Moines, right. Where all the waves are.
Yeah.
In the landlocked state.
I never thought of that.
I love the thought too that you had this name for him, Attilio, this whole time, and then he saw the name and he had no idea what you were talking about.
I thought for sure you guys. I was like, I didn't know there was like a 2-op thing. There's gonna be another guy here.
Yeah, it's been a while. That's all.
We're not that popular. We're not getting 2 people. That's crazy.
I only know 14 people.
Oh man.
No, that wasn't my joke. I shouldn't have stolen that.
If I have $1 for every person I know, I'd have $14.
That's almost enough for lunch.
Is that that's like almost Mitch Hedberg?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which, rest in peace. Best Canadian ever.
Rep in peace is 12 years now or whatever it's been.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, please, you first.
No, yeah, so I did want to talk a little bit about some stuff going on. Obviously, near the ending of the semester, everybody's sort of winding down with exams and sort of, I say winding down, but they're also getting a bit more tense. What do you guys sort of do to, relieve stress when it comes to, stressful situations? Because this is something that I think, everybody sort of needs help with. I personally get really drunk. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I did that yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
Christmas party. Sorry.
No, but so I actually find solace in reading. I know a lot of people don't really read nowadays, especially novel or cover to cover sort of books. But yeah, when I'm stressed, I find it's just better to just sort of think about other things and know that. It'll turn out the way it's going to turn out, no matter what I stress about, right? So, yeah, what do you guys sort of do?
For a long time, I would smack the drum set around. I actually just sold them a few days ago to one of my cousins, because I haven't been able to play for a long time. My back just can't deal with it, entire back pain for a few days after. So music, video games, because I just picked up Final Fantasy 15 last week, and I'm loving it. I killed a god, bro.
That's more than I've done.
Bro, and I do read. Thank you for, I'm a fan of Stephen King. I got the thing on my wrist from Stephen King.
Who's Stephen King?
No, he is a poet and a film director.
He's one of the gods you killed.
He did that movie about the talking cat.
Right.
That JonTron did a video about.
Yeah, it's a great one.
And I believe he's a painter.
Oh.
You may have seen his work on murals around the city.
Yeah, Starry Night.
Yeah. He was Banksy for a while, I think.
There is actually a good point. The newest theory about Banksy is that it's multiple people.
Yeah.
So just so you know.
There's also that theory about Shakespeare, which is
multiple people as well. Yeah.
Which is cool. I like the idea that Shakespeare was what's the word? A
title
community of writers who were just we can't get our own names out there, so let's make this epic. I don't know.
Well, the cool thing with Shakespeare is the fact that it was they're saying it was a group of 4 to 5-year-olds all stacked on top of each other in a trench coat.
Oh, like the Little Rascals.
I don't know what the little. I don't know what you're talking about.
The Little
Shakespeare.
That's a great movie.
And he would come in like, "Hello, sir. 2 tickets for the R-rated play.
There was a scene in the Little Rascals movie, the more recent one, not the ancient one. Where
there's a more recent one?
Yeah, like the 90s one.
Oh, okay.
That I watched a lot when I was young, but like the more recent, not the old.
Right.
Anyway, with Whoopi in it, where 2 of the guys try to get into a bank to get money to build like a soapbox car, so it's just one of the other one's shoulders with a fake mustache. It's like, we can do a withdrawal. Can I have your account number? 7, 8. I'm sure it's a fantastic movie. So
it's
I haven't
actually
watched it
a really
in a
good
long
movie.
time.
The infamous "I've Got a Pickle" song from that movie, which is a great song. It goes a little something like this: I've got a pickle.
Oh.
I've got a pickle. I've got a pickle. Hey, 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 hey.
I did not see those last 2 hays. That was a twist for me.
Man, that's just Stephen King writes such great music.
Yeah, the Prince.
So we do want to get more into your life, Mark. So quickly, what do you sort of do to relieve stress around stressful times?
That's what we were talking about.
Yes.
Well, to relieve stress, I'm a little biased because the last time I felt a lot of stress would be anytime I was doing something creative. So I was just watching TV and movies, which I could tell people was research. I was watching how they were moving the cameras, how they were performing. But really, I just wanted to see, how Buffy got out of her next jam with vampires.
I have researched TV shows in that way. It's actually, you can
learn a lot from just watching a TV show.
There was do you watch Scrubs? Mm-hmm. Do you remember have you seen all of it?
I haven't watched it like in order, so I'm sure there's some I've missed, but I've seen a lot of it.
Well, there's a scene in the finale episode that takes place in a hallway, and it's just like the strange way they wrap around the corner and like is following the main guy, and there's like people lining the hallway, and it turns around, and then he turns around, and the camera pans back over, and there's no one there.
Oh man!
And it's just like, how?
Yeah.
It was editing, obviously. It had to be editing because there's no way they could all vamoose like that. Which is like, okay, cool. How does that work?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like there's research involved.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So quickly, Scrubs. That's the one with the guy with the cane, and he's like, everybody hates him, but he fixes people, right?
You're thinking of Citizen Kane.
Yeah, you're thinking Citizen Kane with Hugh Laurie.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, my little mouse son.
I really hope the audience can follow this conversation. I'm sorry if you can't.
It's very word salady.
Yeah.
Welcome to Non Sequitur with Tom and Till.
Yeah, exactly. So, Mark, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself? Obviously, you're in the arts now, and you're sort of working away. So, how did you find yourself in the place you are now?
Oh, man. Well, I started off in a small town called Barrie up north.
Oh, like Protest the Hero.
And nothing ever happened there.
Oh.
And I got bored a lot, and I thought it'd be fun to make videos with my friends. And then I started actually enjoying the art form, and I came to Toronto because that's where the work is. Came to school here, studied, met Attilio.
Hello.
Was like, hey, Attilio, do you want to help me make a short film? I'm going to use other people's money. They're never going to email me about the perks, so I have no idea how to get it to them.
I'm still waiting on the tweet, because I donated the Kickstarter to the level where the perk was to see it before it was done, which was I was the editor, one of the editors.
So you were seeing
it as well
before it was done,
and also to be mentioned in a tweet where I don't have Twitter, so like what?
Yeah. So I have to take a screenshot, send it to you.
I don't remember, like we were like $35 away from the goal, so like I can do that.
Yeah.
Can the last perk be potato salad party?
I should have done that.
Yeah, that's a great
man.
Everybody loves potato salad.
Everyone loves potato salad.
So that's cool. So you've sort of like always found yourself interested in movies and TV and sort of stuff like that. Is there any sort of direct, obviously you're working on some stuff right now.
Right.
Is there any sort of direct relation to anything that you've sort of seen and take influence from?
Oh man, everything I watch I take something from. I walked out of X-Men Apocalypse and I was like, okay. And then I thought, well, that one scene where James McAvoy is going up against Apocalypse in his brain, that's pretty cool. I could write a short film about that, and I would just go and write it. So, like, everything I watch, I get something out of.
That's awesome.
Somewhere. Yeah.
That's actually really cool. That's sort of a general something that you can sort of see happening in Toronto a lot, and I'm not going to say Toronto specifically, but like the amount of art that we can take in just in this one place, especially with the internet and the global village theme of the world nowadays is crazy, and I sort of do love it because it at first when people sort of saw these I watch something and I do something sort of similar, it was sort of looked down upon. And I'm talking about like 20, 30 years ago, because it was like sort of plagiarism, but not really, because I think it's people sort of taking, especially the creators of the things that were getting referenced, were flattered. They weren't upset. It was the bureaucrats and the people making the news that were like, this is bad, right? And I know especially, I've known some content creators, and when they say like people like take direct inspirations from it, it's like, what's cool? Like, what's wrong with that?
There's nothing. We in my first semester, I had a professor called Isaac Grimman, who you will remember because he worked on the location shoots.
Right. Yes.
Tall, bald,
great,
fantastic. Yeah, he's awesome, and he was educating us on the difference between inspiration and straight up stealing an idea. And like you look at, let's say Clerks, the movie Clerks, if you ever watched it.
Yes.
Kevin Smith took influence from people, from like the pacing of it, just the dialogue in general, how the characters play back and forth, but never straight up stole anything. So like for us, when you're writing, when I'm trying to figure out how to edit things in a cool new way, it's not so much stealing, like, okay, they had character A walk in from the left and B, and then they switch spots and then cool thing happened. Well, it's like, no, how do I make that one effect and turn that into something to beef up my project? It's not stealing, but it's you're learning. It's the same as anything else when you're learning.
And I also feel it's a lot about just getting any kind of emotional reaction out of someone. If you leave an impression on someone, they're probably going to want to copy it or so. I remember, like, the best influence or compliment rather I got was I made a short film about a guy who was kind of coping with the loss of his mother, and that was only revealed at the end of the movie. It kind of seemed like he might have lost a loved one, and then it turned to be his mother.
Broken Leg on YouTube by
Broken Leg.
Films.
Yes,
I love that thing, man.
It's fun. It has its moments. But I remember I got a comment from someone I knew, and bless you.
Thank you.
I got a comment from a friend of mine, and he was like, and I didn't really think about it, but he had lost his mom to cancer, which is very loosely what happened to the mother in the short film. Spoiler. And
it's your film, though, so it's totally fine.
And he like messaged me. And he was like saying like, "Oh, hey, like this really moved me. Like, thank you. This was so honest." And it was the greatest thing I could ever hear. It was this guy saying, "Oh, I was moved by it." And like, if he had gone on and done something similar, I could only have seen that as a compliment.
And it's sort of interesting that like I truly do think that sort of revelation between sort of allowing more references and more inspirations has really sort of blossomed in the last like I'm going to say 50 years. Because like that was really when the modernization of like what is film and how much can we do with every sort of story, because like there are the three stories of right, and like we sort of just come to the realization where it's like people are gonna take things from other people, but like that's cool, and they're gonna tell their own story with it.
It's just the evolution of the medium. That's all. Like you can't. How can you say if it's right or wrong when we're still figuring out what we can do?
Very true. Like this show itself is probably exactly the same as some other show somewhere else in the world, but like that's cool.
Like, okay, Star Wars was all practical. The original Star Wars was like practical effects, and then eventually someone was like, "I can use computers to do this," and someone would have seen them like, "We can use computers to do something cool too." That's not stealing.
No,
that's learning.
Or even the new Star Wars movie, we're like, "Oh, actually, rather than doing 3D things, we can use actual things from the first Star Wars movie." It's like even more.
I love the new Star Wars, man.
So good.
It was rad. When I left the theater, I watched it December 28th last year, like after it had come out, and I was like, "There's a lot of back references that I'm not totally cool." I was like, "Of course there are. This is 30 years off from the original. There are 2 new generations ahead from the old one where they are maybe just finding out about this." It's like, bring in the old stuff, hook in the new viewers, because there are going to be like 5 more Star Wars movies anyway.
Absolutely.
That's crazy to think about. Like, people like not knowing what Star Wars is until this movie, the most recent movie. Oh, man.
It's interesting because like it's had such an impact on, culture. Since the 70s, since the 80s, I guess. When it came out, 78, I think, the first one. It's been around for longer than I've been around.
I remember when The Force Awakens came out, and I didn't think I was that much of a Star Wars fan. I remember like seeing the movie, so I was like, I like Star Wars, but I don't think I'm like the biggest fan. And then it said in a galaxy far, far away, and then the music came on, and I was crying, and I was like, why am I crying to Star Wars? I don't know the words to this.
What are the lyrics to this song that moves me so?
Whatever the word ba ba ba.
Man, yeah, no, it's an interesting. I don't know. It's just a cool series.
Yeah.
It's been around for a long time, so hey.
So this is a general theme that we've sort of been talking about a lot, which is like how being in Toronto, this is sort of getting past the Star Wars stuff, and I love to talk about that as much as we can, but moving aside, since this is called Toronto Talent, let's talk about a little bit Toronto. You said that you moved here from Barrie because you knew that this is where you can find jobs, and this is where the most people are, obviously. Have you found much support in Toronto since coming out here for film and whatnot?
So much support. I'm living with 2 actors right now, and it's constantly just me coming out and my one friend being like, I got another role, and I'm like, good job, I'm still waiting. and my other one being like, it's so hard. I'm like, I know, why does our other roommate have such an easy time? But it's all just all of us being there for each other. I come back from an audition, I had the worst audition, hey buddy, bring it in. And it's so nice to have this connected family in the city where you're just I can, if I ever have a bad day, if I ever feel like I screwed up, I have so many people I can come talk to. I have so many people I can bounce things off of, and it's so nice and easy, which is a weird thing to talk about a job where everyone is going for one role in the city.
Right. Well, we had TJ on, not last week, the week before, who was saying the same thing. He would expect to be head competing with people. But you get to the room and everyone's just yeah, cool, go get him, buddy. It's great.
I've had people I've been in the room and then somebody comes out and they're like, all right, you can go. And he's like, okay. And he came up to me. He's like, man, they're gonna say this, and I was thinking about doing this, but I didn't. If you want it, you can have it. I'm like, thanks, buddy.
He gives you a little cheat sheet.
Yeah, he's give you
the answers.
Cool, thanks. I have an extra couple seconds to think of what I'm gonna do.
That's awesome.
It's very helpful in the room rather than competitive.
I love the idea that the people auditioning for the same role, who I assume mostly look the same.
Oh yeah,
as, the role, or a
room
team
of clones
that are trying to help each other out.
Yeah,
because I guess that must come to play with making contacts too, right?
Yeah, it's also yeah, for sure. If you're in the room with someone and especially if it's a 2 audition where it's you and someone else, and then you go and you're oh, we kind of worked off each other pretty well. Let's share information. Let's get make something. And so we can both add it to our reel, and we can get more exposure, and it's all for the greater good.
Get paid in exposure dollars. Gotta love it.
Heck yeah!
I kind of want to figure this out. What the likelihood of finding, first of all, finding your doppelganger in the world versus actors finding it, because you're in a room of people that look similar to you.
Yeah.
How crazy would it be if you were just that's me?
I've been on sets for background parts where I'm looking and I'm hey, look at that guy. I'm that's you. I'm I know it's me, but I'm here, and we're freaking out.
There's a comedian, Gabriel Iglesias, who's talking about he had an audition to be the DJ in Magic Mike, and he showed up to the audition room and it was weirded out because there's a bunch of people who were I look more like you than you do.
Yeah,
wow. It seems like it must be a really nerve-wracking thing, I guess. But then again, maybe it's all love and support, except for I assume there's got to be a couple people who are.
There's always 1 or 2 people who are stern. They're oh, here are my lines, and me. And you're what are you doing? This is a Kit Kat commercial, buddy. It's in Shakespeare.
You're playing a cat.
Yeah. I am the cat. I am the cat. And you're okay.
I knew someone who was, she wasn't part of this program at all.
Right.
There's another actor that I worked with who got cast in an independent production of a Catwoman film, and her method was to write meow at the end of all her Facebook posts. It's I'm getting into it. This is my method. That's not method act. And she blocked me.
Method acting is so hard.
I can only imagine it is.
Guys, can I be real with you guys for a second?
Of course.
I was gonna play a dog one time, and I ate my food on a plate on the ground for 14 weeks. Because I want to get in that mindset. What's it like to eat on the floor? I would bark at the mailman. Many police officers, excuse me, I'm trying to be honest with you guys right now. I barked at mailmen Men came to my house, injected me with something. They thought I had a disease. I didn't. I'm just an actor.
You can hear your grin. It's just from ear to ear. You can hear that as you're saying it. So obviously that was a little bit of a joke.
A little white lie.
You didn't get injected with anything.
No. But I did eat off the floor.
It's just you got to humble yourself sometimes. That's all it is.
Yeah.
What was it like in Pilgrim times when they didn't have tables and chairs?
They would have Sammy come in and they would eat off Sammy. And he would just stand.
Wow.
He starts shaking like, Sammy. He's like, I'm sorry, Pop.
Oh my God, what are we talking about?
I don't know, but I want to know, why aren't you hosting this show?
Good question. Back to you.
Yeah, but
Jesus.
It's actually, no, it's great. We bring in so many different people, and obviously, due to the nature of who we're talking to, everybody's sort of comfortable on the mic.
Yeah.
We've only had one instance, and I won't say specifically who was a little bit shy at first, but then they really opened up. But even then, it was just
immediately though, so it was fine.
Yeah, no, exactly, and it's totally not anything against him, and I'll say that like repeatedly.
Ooh, it was a him.
Yeah. It was a him.
We haven't had any lady people against
We're getting
yet.
clues.
That's the only. But he was great. But again, just saying, like, we've had so many people on mic that just are totally comfortable with it and are funny and are confident in themselves, more so than I think the people, if we just brought on like random people in Seneca, you know, like I've actually interviewed someone more recently who is a student even in the journalism program, and he froze. It was very interesting because he did not know anything to talk about. He was like, do I talk in here?
He wrote down all his answers and he held them to you, asking for you to read them for him.
Seriously, he was a great sport. Like I'm grateful for being able to interview him.
Great
but, like,
sports journalist.
Yeah.
Hello, the weather today is minus 4 degrees C.
You're really good at your job, sir.
He might have been first semester, so it was probably like, you know, one of his first times actually being on mic in general. But yeah, no, it's glad to be able to. I'm glad to be able to talk to people who are so confident in themselves that it really makes this job that me and Attilio have so much easier. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
But getting back to you, Mark, I sort of want to know, where do you find yourself wanting to be in the film? Because you're obviously doing stuff in the film, but we haven't really talked about what specifically you're doing.
Well, my main passion is acting, followed closely with writing, and begrudgingly I do directing, but I do not enjoy doing it. I do not enjoy doing it. I don't know what I'm doing at all. It's all self-taught. People go, we want a Dutch angle? I'm like, sure.
Maybe you need to do some method
directing. Method directing. Yeah.
Just boss people around at work.
Exactly.
I just keep firing people.
No, you're just like, when they're not doing a good job, just pull them, like, can you try restocking with a bit more smile this time?
Hey, can you not drink all my wine on set, please?
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
I'm not going to name names.
When we were filming last summer, we did a short film project. Actually, on my birthday last summer, they were filming at my favorite restaurant that I grew up going to, and I was really upset that I wasn't there on my birthday. I could have gotten free food, and also got that with the Rad Project. But we were filming at what was then your apartment with your roommate, and we had this other girl on crew who was doing continuity, which in the end just meant she was taking the bottle of wine that was a prop and just throwing him back, and I think probably passed out at some point.
Well, she was. I just remember her going, can I try some of this? It was like 4 takes in, and then she kept refilling. I guess like she just saw how beautiful that red was, and she was like, "Hey, can I try some of this?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not? You can try some." So she just chugs that glass, pours up another one, chugs that one, then fills it up to what might have been the line at one point, and then gives it to me. And she's just like, I see her like leaning in the kitchen and just being slow, and really hit her.
Well, that's just kind of her work ethic, I know, because I was dealing with her and whatever.
What, drunk?
No,
drunk.
Just not doing much.
How would you describe yourself as an employee? Absolutely hungover.
Now, I'm glad that you told me earlier in the cafeteria that's finally done, so I really want to watch it.
Yeah, it's finally done. It's sent to festivals. The select few who donated gotten the link to it. And fingers crossed I hear some news soon.
Can we name it?
We can name it.
Oh, we can name
Would you like to, since it's your baby?
It's called Your Ex-Lover is Dead.
Bum.
Ooh, not as spooky as it sounds or how I made it sound. It's a romantic comedy drama.
Oh, I was actually going to say I really wish I had the Inception music for that right after you said it. Like,
as I said it, I realized it was the wrong intonation.
Yeah, no, it's totally
I remember when you sent me the script, and I was like, oh, cool, let's see what this...
Yeah.
Oh, that's 42 pages.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we got.
I remember a screenwriting teacher here, Rob, I was like, hey, Rob, can you check out my script, please? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he's just thinking 15-page short film. I sent his 40 pages, and he messaged me back it's going to take me a while. But then luckily he said he read it all in one sitting and he couldn't put it down. So it's good, guys. It's a fun film.
And I think it's not a small thing that the first... I'm going to call it a major project.
It's absolutely
the first right out project. Of being done here was a half an hour short thing.
Yeah.
That, boy, it was really cool to cut together.
Thanks, man.
I had a few laugh breaks, which was nice.
It's always good that when you're laughing as the editor, because you got to see those scenes a lot.
Yeah. Well, see, it doesn't bother me going back and forth over the same stuff, because I'm not seeing the same thing. I'm seeing with the new change that I made, it doesn't work every time. And I do that with the voiceover classes as well. A lot, we're cut in the class so they can hear it back. It's how do you not get bored of this? It was not the same thing.
I'm really glad because as someone who wrote it, directed, and acted in it, I'm going through and I'm I just see myself la la la. Here's the punchline. I'm like, you idiot! It's not even funny anymore.
It's not funny after 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Well, luckily, that's why Russell Peters was never funny.
Yeah, topical.
He's from Toronto, we're back on the topic.
Back on Toronto talent. Next up, Russell Peters.
Sponsor us, Russell.
That's actually a good time. I think we're going to actually say this is now the time for you, if you want, to plug all of your stuff.
All right.
Yes.
Well, hey, Your Ex-Lover is Dead will soon be online in 2017. I do not know when. It depends on if anyone likes it enough to put it in a festival.
I'll put a thumbs up on it.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I will react with the laughing emoji.
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm going to have an emoji on the poster, a thumbs up on the poster, official selection. So that's probably
seal of approval.
Yeah, that'll probably come out late March, I want to say. And currently, I'm working on a podcast called Two Truths and a Lie, in which I'm going around Toronto. I'm collecting stories from people. And every episode, there's 2 stories, and we go through them very much like This American Life or Love and Radio and other things like that. But then at some point, there's one story in there that's not true. And so part of the fun is you get to listen to it really carefully and try and catch which one is a lie, and the next week it's revealed which one was a lie.
So a little bit of a puzzle.
Do
you need an editor?
I do need an audio editor. If you have anyone who's available.
I know a guy.
Slip you a business card.
Please do.
There's a guy I know named Till.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Perfect. Birth name. 3 letters. I'm like Cher or Prince.
Oh, man.
Or Bono.
So if any of you listeners have any stories you would like on a podcast, just look me up on Twitter, Instagram, or anywhere else at My Name Is Now Mark, and just send me a little message, and I'll talk to you. Don't worry about it.
And I just want to say shout-outs to the guy who said Dave the Wave.
Oh,
is that Brett?
Yes, that is Brett.
Hey, Brett.
Also, happy birthday to Mark's mom.
Oh, yeah, happy birthday, Mommy, and you're
birthday.
listening.
I'm a fan of your voice talents that we used for the short film.
It played York Kesker's mom in the great short film Your Ex-Lover is Dead. Oh, yeah, Sesker.
York Seska.
I don't know my own characters' names.
Oh, man, those interview videos were fun to throw together.
Well, thank you for listening. We're going to talk to Mark a little bit more right after this, but right now we're going to play a song called Dumb by Elisa. Here on Say Radio, the voice of Seneca College. Thank you for listening to us here at Tom and Till with Toronto Talent, and now we're going to talk about a little bit of quote-unquote news.
It's new to us, so it counts.
Yeah, exactly. I want to start off with talking a little bit of an experience about I had just this morning.
Oh, boy.
And it might not be very interesting to you, but let me tell you, it is life-changing to me. Okay? So I was stuck at the bus stop coming here for about 45 minutes, which is 30 minutes. Which is a bit crazy waiting for a bus, especially since like I probably could have walked here in a shorter time.
Yeah,
it was
definitely.
just at Finch, but I was like, it's cold.
Yeah.
So I decided to instead go get a bagel. And what do you get on a bagel? Cream cheese, of course. So I go up to the till and I say, can I get a cheddar bagel, delicious bagel, with cream cheese? And the lady there, she's new. I go to the Tim Hortons a lot, so I know she's fairly new. She looks at me and she's like, sure. And I'm like, oh, God. Oh, no. So I order. I got my white hot chocolate, delicious. And I'm waiting in line.
Chocolate.
Yeah. No, it's totally fine. I love it. And I get this bagel.
Get it?
Yeah, no, totally. No, it's fine. So I get the bagel, and I open it, and I knew something was going to be wrong. So I opened it in the store, and thankfully, it was a delicious surprise. What she gave me was a cheddar cheese bagel with cream cheese and cheddar cheese. What? It was so good. And I won't go into how many years it's taken off my life right now.
7.
Probably 7.
Easily.
Yeah, no, seriously. And especially the amount I will eat from now on, because they didn't charge me for the cheddar.
Oh. It's so crazy because there's cream cheese coming out of your ears right now.
Yeah, oh,
gross.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I didn't want to say anything. I was getting hungry.
I actually still have half of it right now, so that might be like my in-between walking to Wendy's, because we're going to Wendy's after.
As is tradition.
Yeah. So I was very surprised. And if you are looking for something new, because I'm not a huge Timmy's Food fan necessarily, they got some good stuff, but bagel, it's always a safe bet, I find. If you're looking to spice it up, definitely try cheddar on a bagel, because it was life-changing, let me tell you. So try it.
The more you know.
Yeah. Speaking of food-related experiences that we've had, I know Tilly has had a little bit of a little thing that he wanted to share today, too.
It's not like it's a big life changer. I don't know, I went to the vending machine, I put in a $5 bill for a $4 can of Monster and got $3 worth of change.
So that means...
So I think that's a sign from God that I should go buy a scratch card.
And I think we can almost make infinite money.
Yeah.
No.
We keep on doing this.
Be losing $1 each
We
purchase.
would keep losing $1, but we'd be gaining $1, and then we sell we'll sell the monsters on the black market, right?
Okay.
We sell it for like 25 cents less. We're still losing 25 cents.
Yeah.
We sell for the exact same price. You can buy it at a vending machine, and we just keep making that $1, and eventually we can make our own energy drinks called Wanster, and it just the logo flips upside down.
Did you ever see? There's a video about like how this logo with like the font and all that is like pointing to the devil. And like the stripes, each of them is like a numeral for 6.
Ooh.
So it's 3 6s, and then the cross in the O is like an Christian thing. It's all BS, but like I thought it was hilarious. I was like, yeah, give me some more of that devil.
Have you ever opened up like a can to see what was inside? Because on the inside, it's actually a chant to the Dark Lord.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that what the fizzing noise is? It's a call to Cthulhu.
That's the liquid praising Satan.
I think you two need some Jesus in your life.
Grab the can of...
There's no heavenly energy drink, and that's what I'm here to talk about today.
I'm so sorry. This is what happens when we don't have a lot of news to talk about today.
Yeah.
I think the most exciting thing...
Final Fantasy 15?
Not including Final Fantasy 15.
The Last Guardian?
No, not including any video game.
Oh.
Yeah, so I stumped you.
I'm out.
Would be that Disney changed one of their theme parks, the domes that they have to like watch movies in? They changed it into the Death Star.
Oh. Sweet.
Yeah, that's cool, right?
Easily blown up.
Oh. Hopefully emptied.
Yeah.
At like midnight.
I hope it comes with realistic like air vent where you could just like throw something down it and the whole thing explodes.
Oh, it'd be so good, so expensive, but so much fun.
But like you build those, right, and then you sell them on the black market for like 25 cents less than they're actually worth.
Oh, and you lose a quarter every time.
Yeah, but then you can make your own Death Star.
Right.
What do you call it?
Wealth Stars.
A wealth star.
Yeah. and then you make money. Not really.
Yeah, you gotta copyright that real quick.
WealthStar?
Yeah, WealthStar.
It's a new YouTube knockoff video site of instead of people fighting like WorldStar, it's just
God.
people politely getting along.
Oh yeah, I would
Yeah.
think it's like people just like throwing bills at each other.
How can they pick up all of these guys named Phil?
Oh, this is why we have Attilio here.
It's sure.
I prefer William.
Oh, you are out, sir. You are gone. Leave.
WealthStar.
Oh man, what are we doing here
Deep
today?
cut.
Yeah.
Speaking of WealthStar, what else is in the news?
Well, let me tell you, absolutely nothing. This has actually one of the weird times where, like, not a whole lot's been going on. In music, though, some good stuff going on. Speaking of which, Childish Gambino released their new album, which we can talk about because it's out and we have, like, now time to talk about it.
I like it, man. Okay, so he put out, I think it was Redbone. And
Me
one
and
of the
Your
others-
Mother.
Yeah.
Then Redbone.
And I was like, okay, these are pretty cool. There's no way that's going to be the whole album, right? It's the whole album.
So good.
And like on the way over here, I was just on the bus like, yeah, this is good.
So good. I remember hearing that Gambino was going to release a new album, and then people were being like, there's no rap, and I was like, well, I don't know about this. I like my Gambino rapping. And then he just piled my face into the ground because I don't know anything.
Yeah, it's a complete departure. But like we were talking about it, I think it was in our last show, where like he just does what he wants to do, and like because the internet was like this whole dark thing, it was still rap music, but it was this whole. So like I'm interested to see how he markets this and like what he does now, because he's got to be a different character, unless he's just going to be himself, which would be nice.
I would like to say, you just blew my mind because you reminded me that we did talk about Childish Gambino on our last show.
Yeah.
Totally forgot.
I pay attention sometimes.
But that's fine. We can talk about it as much as we want. This is the Toronto Tom and Till with Gambino.
Yeah.
Gambino
Hour.
Have any of us listened to the new Weeknd album?
No, I actually haven't.
Yeah.
The Weeknd's good.
Same.
The problem with The Weeknd is you don't need to listen to it on your own because he's Canadian and CanCon exists. We're going to hear him for the next year.
That's fair. Yeah.
So there's no need.
My problem with The Weeknd is that it's so short.
And then Monday
And
comes
then
around.
Monday.
I just watched a Brutal Moose video. If you don't know Brutal Moose, check him out on YouTube. He did a episode on Garfield and like a really, really terrible Garfield game. And oh my god, it reminded me how bad just Garfield was as a concept.
Have you ever seen Garfield minus Garfield.net?
No.
What?
It is some genius takes Garfield comic strips and then takes Garfield totally out of the equation. So it's just John having like manic breakdowns.
Oh, John.
It is fantastic. There's one where it's 3 panels. The first 2 he's just looking down at himself, and then the next one he's looking up and says, "I'm not wearing any pants." I was like, okay. It's so good.
Just cases and cases of uneaten lasagna just piling up.
It's Garfield minus Garfield.net. It's so good. I think it's .net. It might be .org or something,
Right.
but like, it's worth your time.
Yes.
I need this in my life.
Yeah, you certainly do. It's amazing.
That's actually really cool. There's a lot of like sort of internet web shows that sort of do the similar thing where they take something that's very, very well known and they just sort of change it a little bit by taking out like a main character. I can't remember one that does it.
There's
but
a YouTube channel called Pistol Shrimps where they like green screen themselves into stuff and like change. They made a couple of videos about Captain Europe as opposed to America, where it's just like stereotypes. It's funnier than that sounds.
Oh, wow.
They did Titanic Super 3D, where it's just like how Titanic would look if it was done like different directors and stuff.
Oh, man.
And like in 4D, and then the audience gets hit by water. Directed by Michael Bay. When people hit the water, they explode.
I love YouTube.
Pistol Shrimps.
This is why I love YouTube.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the video of, I think it's Digital Corridor, Corridor Digital, one of the two.
I think
and
it's
it's
the second.
and it's kind of like a crime noir version of Bohemian Rhapsody, and they all use the words and the lyrics from Bohemian Rhapsody, but it's set to like this dark, gritty story about this guy who just killed someone and he's telling his mom. It's really good.
That's actually like crazy.
Yeah,
That sounds
like,
awesome.
There are of course weird parts. Like I'm like, hey, Figaro, and I'm like, okay, couldn't work around that, I guess.
No,
Well,
yeah.
suspension of disbelief is
Yeah.
gone.
Ooh, such suspension.
Ooh. Yeah, well, it sounds like a rad, like, there's concepts you can come up with. It's hard to do stuff like that. I don't know, man. So good on them.
Yeah, it was really well done.
Then there's also epic rap battles of history that are great.
I actually am not a fan of them. I'll be honest here.
Well, teach their own. It's fine if you want to be wrong your whole life.
No, yeah, no, I'm totally fine being wrong.
I'm sorry for that. I don't feel good about that.
You don't need to be sorry. But as you mentioned a little bit before, we can talk about this because I think it's going to reach to a lot of people, and I know you're a little bit more passionate about it. Some games that just released recently. And I'm sure you want to talk a little bit about and give us your review without spoilers about a game that you've been playing.
I've been playing Final Fantasy 15, and I killed a god yesterday, so that happens. It was interesting. I don't know if you guys. I know you're a gamer. I don't know if you are as much. But like,
I like Pokemon.
Pokemon's fun.
It's Final Fantasy has always been like it's a fantasy game, and playing it on like on the Game Boy systems or whatever, when you have like this supposed Titan monster that's supposed to be facing, and I was always like, what would that look like though? And now I know what it looks like, and the answer is totally effing rad. It's good. And also in games, I got my Last of Us tattoo on Wednesday, and it really hurt.
And you gotta get 2 strikes next to it for part 2.
No, I'm sure they'll have some other like. I'm sure.
First rule of improv, Patel, you gotta say yes and.
Well, listen, it's gonna be a new game. It's gonna be good because, for my opinion, it's the best game that's been made in sort of like the linear kind of game, whatever. And like I fell in love with it immediately and all that good stuff. But like, there's another one coming out, and I'm super excited. And they're gonna have some kind of rad logo that I can get up here.
Oh yeah,
and then I'll just be a walking monument to Naughty Dog games.
I was gonna say, like, eventually you might have to get a face tattoo. Which is a scary thought.
They're going to be parts that you can't show other people. That's going to be Uncharted logos.
They're in uncharted territories.
Exactly. The lady who did this to me on Wednesday, the day before on Tuesday night, she had tattooed like a beautiful like couple of roses on her hand going up her wrist, and like her hand was swollen so much bigger than her other one. She's like, putting on this glove is going to take me a few minutes. Are you cool to see? I was like, yeah, take your time, lady. And just oh my god, it's. I can't imagine how much it must have hurt.
Yeah.
That sounds like something that I would never do. Like, I love art and I love that sort of stuff, but like, I don't know what I would put on my body.
Yeah.
That like, because it's not even that I want something to like mean for something to me for the rest of my life, but I love the ones that are just like cool concepts. My best friend Zach has a huge sleeve of like scuba divers and an octopus pulling down like an old school scuba diver.
It's so cool.
Looks awesome, and it really doesn't mean a whole lot. It's just he likes the aquatic theme and he wants to get a different theme on his other arm, which is like super cool.
He's also got the mask on his wrist that I thought was rad. I can't remember what the character's called.
I don't remember what it's called, but it's from Spirited Away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Faceless Man or something like that.
Something like that.
But yeah, no, if I were to get a tattoo, it'd probably be in more of the theme of like that sort of vein where it's not something, it's like it's this heart because it means a certain person. I love those sort of things, but I really don't have anything that I would want to put like that. Maybe I'll just do like, fire's cool.
It's like
do a fire theme.
Darren has the comedy and tragedy demon masks on either side of his chest because he got them. He's like, because I'm a Gemini. I was like, okay, cool. And they really don't have to have a lot of meaning though. Like it can just be a fun thing. To like, look what I have on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's neat.
I get a tattoo on my forearm of what my forearm looked before I got a tattoo. Wow. And then people would be like, whoa, it doesn't look like you got a tattoo there. I'm like, she was really good.
It was a lot of suffering and like $700. Thank you for not acknowledging it.
She actually just poked me with a blank pin for 5 hours.
Whoa. I think the coolest tattoo I've ever seen, I was in the line getting into Fan Expo. This is about 5 years ago now. And I was standing in line, and someone after me had a prosthetic arm, and on the other arm got a tattoo of a prosthetic arm. Like his whole arm was like with the lines and the screws and everything like that, and I was like, that's really cool. Yeah. That's interesting. And it's like he's totally like acknowledging that, like, I have a prosthetic arm, so what sort of thing.
It would be hard to deny though.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I want to see his legs, see if he also has like robotic
That'd
legs
be
drawn
amazing.
on.
Oh my, I just want to meet this man again.
It hurts, but it's worth it.
Yeah. maybe one day I'll save it enough money and just be like, you know what? Just like, what's a cool design? Just do that. Just a lot of it.
You can go into shops and they have stuff.
I don't know if
they've always
I would
got
do
like
that.
sleeves they've designed. Oh, that's a commitment though.
Yeah, I do like the thought of like talking to a artist and being like talking with them and like figuring out exactly what I want. Just that whole process seems like very interesting to me. I know I sat in on Zach's first session, which was out of 6, and they were 4 hours long each. I sat on the first one, and me and the tattoo artist just got like talking about like this YouTube show that we were doing at the time. And he was like, "So you telling me I could come on your show and play Mega Man?" I was like, "Yes, you can." And this guy's like I think the second best color artist in North America or something like that. I mean, like he spent a lot of money for it. Let's be honest here. But like the guy was like so humble, and he was just like, yeah, that'd be like really cool. I actually have like a Mega Man tattoo. And he's like, that was like my childhood. He's like, I don't even play any games anymore, but like I would still go back this day and play that game. I was like,
I've been thinking for a long time of getting. There's like the Triforce, but with like wings that come out the top, stretching out. It looks so rad. I want to get it, but that's gonna hurt.
And also, like, I think you can't even. I don't think it's possible to count the amount of people with that tattoo, which is fine. It doesn't need to be original. I'm not saying that, but like a lot, like I can count like 5 people I know with like Triforce tattoos. It's a great game. I mean, that's why so many people have it. It's because Zelda and the franchise itself has sort of become like a staple in gaming, right?
Plus, I've been playing. The reason for me because I started playing Link to the Past when I was not even yet a toddler.
That's
like my cousin had the
crazy.
Super Nintendo, and I just like walk around and see the pretty colors and probably die a lot in the game. I don't remember. It's like it's been a part of my life, my whole life.
That's
so
crazy.
For me, it feels like it would make sense.
No, yeah, for sure. That's why I did try to book it with like
buffer.
I'm not trying to say that it's a bad thing.
Yeah. It's not the dumbest thing you could do. It's just really unoriginal.
I mean, originality is like fun and all, but like we've already talked about it. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking inspiration. So yeah, no, exactly. This is sort of coming to the end of it. This is coming near the end of the show. We've talked about some cool things, and I want to thank a certain someone for coming on and talking sort of a roundabout way, talking about sort of bullshit.
Yeah.
I was questioning whether I should say the actual word or not because we're on air, but I'll commit. It was a really fun time having you here, Mark. I do want to stretch that a lot. You couldn't even imagine like having everyday conversations with you. I would love to do that because like you pick up on the total like nonsense that me and Attilio are putting down and just run with it, which is amazing. We've tried to do it a couple other times and like people like they'll be like
anyway
exactly where we talked about like I don't even know, I can't even recollect what we talked about half an hour ago because it had nothing.
Wealth Star.
Which is great, and that's that does show your personality. And you're a great guy, and you've had a great conversation with us. So thank you.
Thanks, man.
We did it. So it's been really fun. I hope you've had a great time listening, and make sure you're here not next week because I think we're actually taking a little bit of a break
until next semester.
Yeah, just because we're trying to, everybody's has Christmas stuff going on, so it's going to be a little bit till the next time we see you. But I hope you're here when we are. Until next time, though, this has been Tom and Till with Toronto Talent here on Say Radio, the voice of Seneca College.